Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole Williams, and I am a unlicensed group home provider. And I have been a provider since 2007. I started out as a licensed group home provider, and then right around 2016, I switched over to unlicensed group homes. So it was a personal choice that I decided to do that. And I have to say, running an unlicensed group home is way less stress than having my licensed group home. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the difference between the licensed and the unlicensed so that you can have an understanding. You might be someone that is thinking about starting a home and maybe you didn't know that unlicensed group homes were a thing or if they were legal. So, just want to talk to you a little bit about the difference between the two. And before we get started, if you could like and share my video, and don't forget to subscribe as well. So let's get to it. So, in terms of group homes, that is definitely a term that we use. Everybody understands the term group homes because they understand that that's group shared living. So, when you're talking about an unlicensed group home, which again, a lot of people don't know that they're legal or even know how they even work. Okay. So, with the unlicensed group home, we provide just basically shelter, a room for the more independent person who doesn't need any type of services. And if they do, need very minimum services, then you can outsource those services, meaning you can bring in someone to help them. You yourself, as the provider, should not be providing those services to them. Okay. Because in the eye of the state, then they would say, hey, if you're providing services, then you need to be licensed. Okay. So for the unlicensed business model, who is that for? Um, what type of people or population would want to live in an unlicensed group home since they have to be independent? You would think an independent person can go get their own, their own apartment, right? So that is not always the case. So our target population for our unlicensed group home would be someone more, again, that's independent. It could be someone, maybe they got out of jail and they can't, they aren't able to get their own place. Maybe someone with who've made really bad financial decisions and they don't have the credit to get their own place. Mentally, it could be a mental thing. Maybe they're suffering from, maybe they have, they might be bipolar or, schizophrenic. So, excuse me, they are able to get their own place, but they do well in a shared living environment. So you have seniors, okay, senior citizens that are independent that, would live in a shared living spot. You have veterans. So there is a wide range of population of people that can benefit from the unlicensed or shared living homes, okay? So we are not geared towards taking care of anyone. Again, our people need to be able to make their own meals, take their own medications, and to be able to make most decisions. Okay. Um, whereas with a licensed group home, which many of you know about, AFC homes, group homes, those are 24-hour care homes. So with the 24-hour care homes, you do have to be licensed. And that is where you are taking care of folks, maybe changing their briefs, cooking for them, grooming, medication management. So those are the type of things that you would do in a licensed home, along with having 24-hour care or staff there 24 hours. So there are two types of licensed homes. There's the private pay, which you would take in people typically with Alzheimer's, dementia, that can pay you, $4,000 or $5,000. We also have the contracted license home where you would go through the state and the state Medicaid pays for the services. For what I actually coach, because I do coach and I do teach people and help people how to start and get their unlicensed group homes open. I strictly do unlicensed because that's where my passion is, because there is that group of people who don't quite qualify to live in a licensed home and have Medicaid pay for their services because they're more independent. And then you also have it where they can't afford to live in a private pay license home because they don't have the income. So you have to think about those folks in between who don't qualify for state Medicaid and who cannot pay for a private pay. So we are the in between. So that's where we come into play with our unlicensed affordable living or sure living home. That's where we come in. And the true unlicensed, again, your people will be independent. They should be able to go in and out. Like the folks at my home, they can leave when they want. One of my guys, he'll go out of town, or they may go out and stay all night with one of my clients will be with his mom or his dad for a few days. So there's just so many people that need this service. Okay, people are living in hotels. One of my friends who has a home, she's actually going to replace a guy that was living in a hotel. So you know how much hotels are. So he's so elated and glad that he can move into her home. So you don't want to forget about those folks that's in between. So the folks that's in between, then they're not quite, they can't, get the Medicaid, the state to pay for their services to live in a group home. And then you have the ones who can't afford 24-hour care because they don't need it and they don't even have the $3,000, $4,000, or $5,000. So then that's again where we come in. We have our house, either a property that you already have, a home that you live in, or you can lease a home, and we rent out beds, okay, two to a room. So that's where we come in. And yes, it's legal to do. So, and very rewarding. So there, like I said, there are so many people out there who need a place and they don't have anywhere to go. So you can definitely, if this is something that you've been thinking about, but you didn't want to go through the licensing, you didn't want to deal with staff and payroll, this is definitely the route to go. All right, so that's it for today, guys. And if you have any questions, I will leave my contact information in the comments. And you guys can email me or you can text me if you want to get in touch with me for a free 10-minute consultation to talk about, if this is something that you want to do, or if you want to move forward, if you want to start your home, I can certainly help you with that. But wanted to just hop on here, guys, and just give you an overview of what the unlicensed group home is about. All right, guys, talk to you soon.